What if I told you there's a secret force, an invisible aura that can make men utterly magnetic to women? No, this isn't about cologne, expensive suits, or even jaw-dropping abs. This is about a vibe, a presence, a certain je ne sais quoi that transforms ordinary guys into human catnip. And here's the kicker. It all begins with something called NOFAP. Now, before your mind runs wild, let's get straight to the meat and potatoes. NOFAP isn't some cult or ancient monk ritual that requires you to chant in the mountains. In simple terms, it's a movement where men choose to abstain from, well, let's call it personal entertainment. No secret browser tabs, no late-night scrolling, just pure, unfiltered self-control. But what does this have to do with women becoming obsessed? Everything. Let's crack open the science, the psychology, and the downright fascinating effects of this so-called pure aura. Prepare for some wild truths and a few eyebrow raises, because we're diving where most won't. Hold tight, because what you're about to hear might just flip your entire perspective upside down. Ever noticed how people who can resist temptation seem to have a certain glow about them? It's not just your imagination. Self-control is one of those power traits that radiates confidence. When a man practices NOFAP, he's flexing his mental muscles every day. And guess what? That discipline spills over into every area of his life. Work, fitness, relationships. It's like upgrading your brain's operating system. Studies show that self-control is wildly attractive. Women subconsciously look for partners who can resist fleeting pleasures because that signals long-term potential. If a guy can say no to instant gratification, he's more likely to say yes to bigger goals, like building a future, handling challenges, and staying loyal. But wait, there's more. Self-control doesn't just sit quietly in your brain, it leaks out into your body language. Suddenly, eye contact is stronger, posture is upright, and there's a calm certainty in your voice. You exude an untouchable aura that screams, "I'm in control of my life." And that, my friends, is a delicious magnet for attention. It's like walking around with a hidden badge of honor, invisible but mighty. Nothing says alpha energy like a man who's mastered himself before trying to master the world around him. Let's dive into the brain's pleasure center. Dopamine, our old friend, is the chemical behind every thrilling Instagram like, every victorious video game level, and yes, every private moment. But here's the plot twist. Flooding your brain with dopamine over and over makes it numb to excitement. Suddenly, the world looks a little grayer. Your energy dips and motivation takes a nosedive. But the men on NOFAP, they're dopamine warriors. By cutting out the cheap thrills, they force their brains to recalibrate. Suddenly, real-life pleasures pack a punch again. Food tastes better, music sounds richer, and even the breeze on your skin feels electric. The spark returns to their eyes, and that zest for life is impossible to fake. Women pick up on this zest like a bloodhound. A man who's genuinely alive, who's present, who seems to buzz with unseen energy. He's rare, he's valuable. The aura isn't just a metaphor, it's a literal shift in energy that people around you can feel. Imagine your brain as a Ferrari. NOFAP is the tune-up that lets you hit top speed again. Who wouldn't want to radiate that kind of raw, unfiltered vitality? Time for a plot twist straight out of a history book. Ever heard of sexual transmutation? It's the idea that sexual energy isn't just for, well, you know, it's raw creative power. Think of it as rocket fuel for your ambitions. Legends like Nikola Tesla and Steve Jobs were rumored to tap into this force. Instead of wasting energy on fleeting pleasures, they channeled it into world-changing inventions and billion-dollar ideas. NOFAP practitioners report similar side effects: explosive creativity, laser-sharp focus, and a drive that borders on superhuman. Here's where the obsession factor kicks in. When a man walks into a room radiating purpose, when every movement says, "I'm here to make things happen," it sends shockwaves. Women are hardwired to notice high-energy, high-momentum individuals. It's like walking past a live wire. You can't help but feel the electricity. This is the secret source behind legendary charisma, an energy that can't be bottled or faked. People can't help but wonder what your secret is, and it's all about that redirection of power. Let's get real. Mystery is magnetic. When a guy isn't constantly chasing or showing obvious signs of thirst, he becomes unpredictable. That unpredictability, it's catnip. NOFAP practitioners often find their interest in the opposite sex becomes less desperate, more genuine. They're not chasing validation. They're not needy. Instead, they're focused on their own growth, their own journey. They become the storm, not the ship tossed by the waves. This self-sufficiency creates a tantalizing puzzle. What makes him tick? Why isn't he drooling over every pretty face? The mystery isn't something you can fake. It's a byproduct of genuine self-respect. And nothing is more alluring than a man who's whole on his own. Being an enigma is like being the plot twist in a movie. Everyone's waiting to see what you'll do next. Curiosity is addictive, and when you're the source, you're the main character in everyone's story. Is there any real evidence for this so-called aura? Actually, yes. Psychologists call it the halo effect. When someone improves themselves in one area, people start seeing them as superior in other areas too. You get healthier, you seem smarter, you become disciplined, you seem more trustworthy. Your energy is contagious. NOFAP's benefits often lead to improved sleep, more energy, clearer skin, and steadier moods. It's like a full-spectrum upgrade. When you walk into a room, your presence is felt. Heads turn, not because you're peacocking, but because you radiate calm confidence. Some even claim women can sense these changes on a primal level, picking up on cues like pheromones, posture, and even the way you speak. Science is still catching up, but the anecdotal evidence is hard to ignore. It's like having your own invisible force field, subtle, but undeniably powerful. People don't just notice you, they remember you, and that's the ultimate game changer. Here's a fun feedback loop. When men start noticing the benefits, more attention, more respect, more opportunities, it supercharges their confidence. This creates a snowball effect. More discipline leads to more rewards, which leads to even more discipline. It's a virtuous cycle that can turn even the shyest wallflower into a social dynamo. Confidence isn't loud or obnoxious, it's quietly unshakable. It's the guy who doesn't need to prove himself because he already knows his worth. That's the guy who walks into a party and commands the room without saying a word. That's the guy women become obsessed with. Confidence is the currency of attraction. Spend it wisely, and the returns are massive. When belief in yourself becomes unbreakable, the world bends to your will. In a world drowning in instant gratification, self-control has become the ultimate luxury. Most men are stuck on the hamster wheel of cheap dopamine hits, never realizing there's a higher level. But the ones who break free, they become rare. And as any economist will tell you, rarity drives value. The NOFAP man is a unicorn in a sea of sheep. He's not chasing, he's attracting. He's not desperate, he's desirable. That pure aura isn't just about abstaining, it's about upgrading every facet of your life. Scarcity breeds demand, and that's as true in love as it is in economics. When you rise above the average, you become the gold standard everyone's measuring against. Still skeptical? The internet is bursting with stories from men who went from invisible to irresistible after embracing NOFAP. Forums are filled with tales of sudden confidence, unexpected compliments, and even exes crawling back out of the woodwork. Coincidence? Maybe, but when thousands report the same pattern, it's hard to ignore. Women themselves often report being inexplicably drawn to men who seem different, more grounded, more alive, more in control. It's not about looks, it's not about money, it's about the energy you broadcast. Real stories beat empty promises every time, and these stories are multiplying by the day. It's like a global experiment, and the results are coming in hot. Pure aura equals pure magnetism. So, here's the real question. What would happen if you tried it? What if you went a week, a month, or even longer, channeling your energy into something bigger? What if you became the man who walks into a room and instantly commands attention, not because of what you say or do, but because of who you are? Would women become obsessed? Would your life upgrade across the board? Only one way to find out. Every great hero faces a trial. Maybe this is yours. Step up to the challenge, and you might just unlock the next level of your life. Here's one more twist. The less you chase, the more you attract. This isn't some mystical law of attraction, it's basic psychology. When you're not desperate for attention, you become a beacon for it. People want what they can't easily have, and that includes your energy, your focus, your time. NOFAP is about reclaiming your power. It's about turning inward, becoming whole, and letting your pure aura do the talking. The obsession isn't just about attraction. It's about respect, admiration, and a magnetic pull that words can't capture. And just like that, the secret's out. The pure aura isn't a myth, it's a choice. The only question left is, will you step into the light or stay in the shadows? True magnetism is silent, invisible, and impossible to resist. Sometimes, the most powerful transformation is the one no one sees coming.